Season 2 of The Andy Griffith Show opened like a warm summer morning in Mayberry. The town was quiet, familiar, and filled with the faces we'd grown to love: Andy, Barney, Aunt Bee, and little Opie. This wasn't just a TV show anymore. It was a mirror of small-town America where lessons came wrapped in laughter, and every problem was solved with heart instead of anger. Across 31 episodes, Season 2 deepened everything that made Mayberry special: its humor, its warmth, and its simple truths about courage, love, and family. So settle in, because over the next few minutes, we'll revisit every unforgettable moment and test your Mayberry memory with a few fun trivia questions along the way. The season begins with Opie and the bully. Young Opie faces a boy who demands his lunch money, and Andy must make a choice: step in, or let his son learn to stand tall on his own. It's one of those timeless moments where Andy isn't just a sheriff, he's a father teaching quiet courage. Then comes Barney's replacement. A visiting state inspector makes Barney believe he's being replaced, feeling unwanted. Barney quits and takes up a new job, only to realize that Mayberry wouldn't be Mayberry without him. It's a story about pride, purpose, and how easily doubt can blind us to our own worth. Next, Andy and the woman speeder. A charming woman gets pulled over for speeding, and soon has every man in town under her spell except Andy. Her tricks fail in the one place where charm never beats integrity. In Mayberry Goes Bankrupt, the town faces financial ruin when an old bond is discovered. But Andy reminds everyone that compassion and fairness matter more than the law on paper. Sometimes, the real wealth of Mayberry isn't in its treasury, it's in its people. And then Barney on the rebound. Barney falls head over heels for a woman who plays him like a fiddle, leading to heartbreak and even a threatened lawsuit. Andy steps in with quiet wisdom, showing that love, like justice, needs a steady hand and a clear heart. In Opie's Hobo Friend, Opie meets a wandering drifter named Dave Brown, a man who seems free, funny, and full of adventure. But Andy soon realizes that Dave's carefree lifestyle teaches the wrong lesson: freedom without responsibility. He reminds his son, is just another kind of trap. Then, in crime-free Mayberry, the town is declared the safest place in America. But when two phony FBI agents arrive, the peace of Mayberry is tested. What starts as a harmless visit turns into a clever heist, until Andy and Barney prove that good sense beats slick talk any day. In The Perfect Female, Barney and Thelma Lou decide to play matchmaker, setting Andy up on a date. But like most good intentions in Mayberry, things quickly turn sideways. It's a sweet reminder that love can't be organized like a Saturday night dance. Next, Aunt Bee's brief encounter. Bee falls for a handyman who seems too good to be true, and, of course, he is. Andy's instincts kick in, proving that sometimes the hardest part of caring for someone is protecting them from their own heart. Finally, the clubman. Andy and Barney get invited to join an exclusive gentlemen's club. But when only one of them truly fits the mold, Andy gracefully shows that real class has nothing to do with money or manners. It's about kindness. Few episodes capture Mayberry's heart better than the pickles story. Aunt Bee proudly serves her homemade pickles, which, unfortunately, taste like something drained from an old motor. To spare her feelings, Andy and Barney pretend to love them, until they accidentally enter her jars in the county fair. Their little white lie grows into a hilarious disaster, proving that even kindness can pickle you in trouble. Then comes Sheriff Barney. For one glorious day, Barney gets promoted to sheriff of a neighboring town and learns that leadership isn't about barking orders. By sunset, he's back where he belongs beside Andy, badge shining, ego slightly deflated. In The Farmer Takes a Wife, a big-hearted farmer asks Andy and Barney to help him find love, until he sets his eyes on Thelma Lou. Barney's jealousy is both hilarious and oddly touching, a reminder that even the toughest deputies can have tender hearts. Next, the Keeper of the Flame. Opie and his friends form a secret club that meets in an old barn which accidentally burns down. When Opie is blamed, Andy must choose between authority and faith in his son, through patience and trust. He shows that justice is about listening before judging. Then Bailey's bad boy. A spoiled young man from a rich family is arrested in Mayberry. His father tries to buy him out of trouble, but Andy refuses, teaching both men that responsibility can't be inherited. It's one of those quiet stories that makes Mayberry timeless. No loud speeches, no grand endings, just honesty. Mayberry's warmth shines brightest when its people stumble, laugh, and learn together. And that's exactly what happens in this stretch of the season. In The Manicurist. A pretty new manicurist sets up shop in Floyd's barbershop. Her arrival sends every man in town rushing for a haircut, and every wife into a jealous frenzy. Andy, caught in the middle, must restore peace without bruising anyone's pride. It's gentle, funny, and pure Mayberry charm. Then comes the jinx, when a string of bad luck follows sweet Henry Bennett. Barney convinces everyone he's cursed, but Andy, ever the calm center of reason, proves that superstition isn't stronger than simple faith. By the end, Henry's luck and confidence are restored. In Jailbreak, two state detectives track a stolen payroll to Mayberry but underestimate Andy and Barney. When their big city plan fails, our small-town heroes save the day with quick thinking and a touch of country wisdom. Then comes A Medal for Opie. Opie trains hard for the boys' day race, dreaming of victory, but loses to a faster runner. Andy helps him see that character, not medals, defines a winner. It's one of the show's purest father-son lessons. And finally, Barney and the choir. Barney's enthusiasm lands him a spot in the town choir, despite being hopelessly off-key. Andy cleverly rigs the performance so Barney's voice is muted during solos, keeping his pride intact and the harmony safe. It's comedy built on kindness, the kind only Mayberry could deliver. With each episode, Season 2 continues to blend humor with heart, showing that even when life hits the wrong note, grace can bring it back in tune. In Guest of Honor, Mayberry prepares for its annual Founders' Day celebration by choosing a stranger as the honorary guest, a decision that backfires when the man turns out to be a pickpocket. Instead of outrage, Andy responds with understanding, showing that even a thief deserves a second chance. It's classic Mayberry forgiveness over fury, wisdom over pride. Then comes The Merchant of Mayberry. Andy defends a kind traveling salesman, Bert Miller, whose simple honesty threatens the greedy local shopkeeper, Ben Weaver. What follows is a heartfelt clash between decency and commerce and, as always, goodness wins by quiet persistence. In Aunt Bee the Warden, the town jail overflows, and Bee volunteers to hold a prisoner under house arrest at the Taylor home. At first, it's chaos until Bee's firm but fair hand earns everyone's respect. For the first time, the Mayberry matriarch becomes the toughest warden in town, proving authority can be gentle and just. Next is The County Nurse. A stubborn farmer named Rafe Hollister refuses a tetanus shot, claiming he doesn't need doctors meddling in his life. Andy and the nurse patiently win him over, balancing logic with compassion. It's a reminder that change in Mayberry never comes through force, only through kindness. And then Andy and Barney in the big city. When the two lawmen head to Raleigh for a routine errand, they stumble into a jewelry heist. Despite the glittering setting, they stay the same humble heroes we know, solving the case not with fancy gadgets, but with small-town instincts and teamwork. Each of these episodes shows Mayberry's quiet strength, the ability to face trouble without losing its heart. No matter how big the problem, Andy and his friends always manage to bring it down to size, one simple act of decency at a time. Romance always found a way to stir up the peace in Mayberry, and these next stories prove just how unpredictable love can be. In Wedding Bells for Aunt Bee, Bee begins to believe she's holding Andy back from finding happiness, trying to set him free. She allows herself to be courted by a kind but dull suitor, and before long, the town is buzzing with talk of a wedding. But when Andy gently reveals that her happiness matters most to him, Bee realizes that family love, not romance, is what keeps Mayberry together. Then comes Three's a Crowd. Andy starts seeing Nurse Mary Simpson, but every time he tries to spend time with her, Barney barges in with his well-meaning advice. What could have been a quiet romance turns into one of the funniest interruptions in the show's history. It's a charming reminder that even the best friendships can make love a little complicated. In The Bookie Barber, Floyd the barber hires a polite young man to help in the shop, unaware that the newcomer is secretly running a betting ring. When Andy and Barney catch on, they set a clever trap to expose him. The case ends with justice served, and Floyd's faith in people restored, another example of Mayberry's gentle brand of morality, where lessons come with laughter instead of punishment. This section of the season mixes comedy with tenderness. It shows that in Mayberry, even when hearts break or plans go sideways, kindness always finds its way back home. As Season 2 nears its end, the stories begin to dig deeper, showing what integrity really means in a town where everyone knows your name. In Andy on Trial, a big city reporter accuses Andy of misconduct, painting him as a careless lawman. But the twist cuts even closer to home. It's Barney's loose talk that sparked the scandal, crushed by guilt. Barney does the one thing he's always feared most. He admits he was wrong. And when he does, Andy forgives him without hesitation. It's one of the most moving moments of the entire series, proof that real friendship survives even our biggest mistakes. Then comes Cousin Virgil. Barney's clumsy cousin arrives in town and quickly causes chaos, spilling ink, breaking handcuffs, and accidentally freeing prisoners. Everyone loses patience, except Andy. He quietly sees something in the young man no one else does: potential. And by giving Virgil confidence instead of criticism, Andy turns a disaster into redemption. Finally, Deputy Otis. In one of the season's most heartwarming twists, Andy temporarily deputizes Otis, Mayberry's beloved town drunk, so he can impress his visiting brother. Of course, everything goes wrong at first, but Andy lets Otis find his dignity on his own. By the end, the man everyone underestimates proves himself worthy of the badge, if only for a day. These final episodes capture the soul of the Andy Griffith Show: forgiveness, second chances, and the quiet belief that people, no matter how flawed, can always do better. As the curtain closes on Season 2, one thing becomes clear. The Andy Griffith Show was never just about small-town comedy. It was about human decency, about doing the right thing, even when no one's watching. Across 31 episodes, Mayberry reminded us that integrity doesn't need speeches, that laughter can heal disappointment, and that family isn't just blood, it's anyone who shows up when you need them. Andy Taylor's wisdom carried every story, gentle, patient, and quietly powerful. He taught Opie to stand tall, guided Barney through his blunders, and offered Aunt Bee the kind of respect every heart deserves. Each episode ended not with applause, but with understanding, a soft smile, a kind word, a reminder that even in a noisy world, goodness can still whisper the loudest. That's the real magic of Mayberry, a place where problems are solved with kindness, mistakes are forgiven, and love always finds its way home. If this season warmed your heart, or brought back memories of quiet nights watching TV with family, share your favorite episode in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, because next time, we'll step back into Mayberry once again, where the lessons are simple, the laughter sincere, and the values timeless. Sometimes, the world just needs a little more Mayberry.